Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadiel Kabir. Excited that you're here for our political conversations that are simple, truthful and biased, Prof, putting them across in a hard-hitting way. How are you doing?
Good, and thanking God for the rains at least. At last.
The prayers are working.
The prayers are working.
It is the 21st day of March.
The people were shaking the ground in Nairobi yesterday until the skies also shook.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you make of this situation now we have in the country? It's a very peaceful day today. Yesterday, we couldn't even tell how the day would end, but at least it ended well. I think it's only one person that got injured from, I think, Toy Market, I heard. But at least the situation in the country is as peaceful as we'd want it to be. First of all, what is your message to Raila and Ruto a day after? And now we're looking at the return of some sort of normalcy. What is your message to them after we saw this police chase after protests and protests chasing the police?
I want Raila Odinga and William Ruto to look at today, Tuesday, the 21st day of March in the year 2023, and compare it with yesterday, Monday, 20th of March 2023, and look at the difference. And look at how beautiful the day is and how chaotic yesterday was. And on the basis of that alone, let them make a judgment. Let them look at how close we came to anarchy yesterday, and then let them make a decision. Informed by my rallying clarion call that Kenya is too good to go down. They have to understand that. I have nothing else to tell them.
Just comparing the 2 days.
Just compare the 2 days. One day, everything's okay. You wake up, you take your children to school, you go to work, you open your shop. The next day, it's like you are in another country. You are not in Kenya. The things we have taken for granted yesterday were not there. Yeah. I had an appointment, I kept telling you about that because it was a good appointment.
You had to postpone it.
I couldn't, I don't know whether it was postponed because even the guy wasn't there. And here we are in the morning recording this show.
You've said we take these things for granted. Do you think
that's where the problem is?
Because when I was watching this whole charade on TV and all, people were even celebrating, people were clapping, people were laughing.
Yeah, it depends because both sides don't know. Because I can see from the social media and even people with the courage to insult me even on my own timeline, even on my own wall and WhatsApp. Somebody from Eldoret really insults me. And it's not about insulting anybody now. It's not about blaming anybody. It's just about looking at your country, that this is your country. You have the option to maintain peace or mess it. Yeah.
You say Ruto and Raila should compare the 2 days. Of course, for the president, he wouldn't want to be a president of a country that is not politically stable. But when you look at Raila's side and you look at the opposition, isn't this what the opposition want to see? The president failing. So isn't that, say, a success for Raila Odinga, what was happening yesterday?
It is like coffin makers who say, biashara leo ilikuwa mzuri, because they have sold 10 coffins. So it is in the nature of life. On the last day of the month, last Saturday of the month, or the first Saturday of the month, there are so many vehicles moving in town, weddings and funerals. That's how life is. The binary nature of life finds its way right in the middle of politics. That you are celebrating your victory, somebody else wants to get you out of that office. So that is normal, except that when we extend it to things like what happened yesterday, then that ceases to be normal.
And no one should celebrate?
Nobody should celebrate that kind of thing. Because why are you celebrating something that could... You know, Kenyans, I don't know what I will do. Why can't... I don't know where I will go. These days I don't go to Citizen with serious viewership. By the way, they are the only ones who have more viewership than us. Do you know that?
Yeah, true.
Only Citizen TV has more viewership than us on this channel.
And that's why you can't speak here.
Yes, so I would wish to speak in a bigger platform than this. To tell Kenyans, don't take this peace for granted. In your arrangement of things, peace must come number 1, peace must be number 2, peace be number 3, then the rest can follow in whatever order you want. Because Americans are here, they start with, I don't know, their wallet.
Yeah, money first. Everything works.
Then family, then God number 3 or something like that. In whatever order they put. But there are 3 things: God, money, family. For those Republicans who still believe a lot in this kind of thing. So, Number 1 is,
Peace.
number 2,
Peace.
number 3.
Peace.
From number 4, you can place whatever you want in whatever order you want. And this is a message Kenyans must get. Do not take peace for granted. There isn't a simple thing you can do without peace. There isn't. You can't be a father, you can't be a wife, you can't be a husband without peace. Is it because some of us have read so much or what? Eish.
What are we getting
Peace,
back
bwana, peace.
What are we getting back to? We saw Raila Odinga being tear gassed from Serena to Kamkunji to Eastleigh to Juja Road, following tear gas, police following, chasing after him. His Azimio supporters arrested, some members of parliament arrested yesterday. He says this will happen every single Monday until Ruto listens. What are we looking at?
You can see a government that is actualizing what they said. The bravado of the president and the deputy president, that they are not Uhuru Kenyatta and they are not Moi. And you could see it right there. The police are using excessive force to peaceful demonstrators, arresting leaders, Sifuna, Mazayo, my friend, and others. You know, throwing tear gas at a person like Raila Odinga. I hear there were live bullets. I'm not very sure about that. This is a government that is determined to show they can use force, and indeed they used force. Let me warn government, you can't go far with that. No. And they didn't achieve anything yesterday. At the end of the day, they lost badly.
They lost, they said.
Because if you are looking at it from a narrow point of view of winning, then Raila won. To me, nobody won because Kenyans lost. But if you are looking at it in that narrow sense, between Raila and Ruto, then Raila won big.
How did he win? Because the original plan was to march to State House. They didn't. To have a conversation, I think a protest in KICC, they didn't. How did they win if the original plan did not succeed?
Now listen to me carefully. When somebody says we shall march to State House, why do you want to take it as if they must go on that Monday? What about the next Monday or the other one or the other? Yeah. They succeeded because Raila declared a holiday and the government helped to enforce that. Government made that a reality. By blockading Nairobi, then they helped Raila's holiday to succeed. So Raila succeeded in paralyzing Nairobi. If government thinks they succeed, they should talk to businessmen. And like Ruto said, he almost slapped Uhuru.
Yeah.
Those businessmen will almost slap him, except they know he's the commander-in-chief, so they'll keep quiet.
Yeah.
Because 1 hour of no work for some people is such a loss, they could take 5 years to recover. A whole day could mean somebody's business could go down. It could mean somebody's property could be auctioned. That's the nature of business. That is why the Merchant of Venice, which you didn't do, Shakespeare. Why do we have the drama? It's around a man who borrows to go and trade and buy goods. But when the goods are coming back, the sea becomes so rough and he loses everything. The Jew from whom he had borrowed the money says, let's follow the agreement. You said if you don't pay, a pound of flesh. That is the theme. That is the story of the Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare. In other words, one thing needs to go wrong and your empire can collapse in business. That's how fragile business is. So they succeeded to make Nairobi paralyzed, to effectively put the holiday in place. And by the way, when Nairobi is not working, many other places are not working by extension. Sometimes where you work from your desk in Kakamega, you are dependent on what's going on in Nairobi. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. You get me?
So there's probably paralysis of businesses.
The whole country.
And even the protests in Kisumu too.
Yes. How did they succeed again? They succeeded in helping Raila get out of a difficult situation. And I want Ruto and the rest to listen. Supposing you allowed Raila to get to town, first of all, the numbers may not have been very big. You get it?
Yeah.
They may not have been very big. Secondly, he would have found himself in a very, very difficult situation. People are here. Can you walk with them to State House? First of all, they are not that many. They may not have been that many. Secondly, it would never have been Raila's. Raila is not a fool. It could never have been his design to go to State House. You remember he said it in an interview.
Yeah.
And then he retracted when he saw the impact. When he was told this will mess the demonstration, the mass action. He retracted. That was his thinking. Because he's an intelligent man. If these guys let Raila go to town with his people, then the people will demand we go to State House. Raila would have very little choice. Then you take them to State House. Then there are no blockades. There's nothing. The police are not on the road. Then you go there. So what? You become the president.
When we had this...
No, ask that. You become the president. Because you are in State House with 10,000 people, 5,000 people. You don't become the president.
Yes.
So they saved the day for Raila. That's how he won. Number 3, they tossed the fish in the water. Raila is a fish that was tossed in the water. When they send him to the people, and you saw the massive crowds, any man in power seeing the opponent with that kind of crowd, they can't eat, they can't sleep. Like we used to say when we went from 2 about girls. If I don't see you, I don't eat. They can't sleep, they can't eat. That's a fact. Because you are a human being. You are the president in White State House. And seeing a man shaking Nairobi the way Raila was shaking it, in Isili, Kamkunji, Isili, Madare, Madare North, Juja Road. And then you saw the police in Migori, in Kisumu, in Juja, being overpowered and running away. You're still looking for how Raila could have succeeded in this thing yesterday. What does it tell you about the next?
Yeah.
If there is a next.
We had this conversation yesterday. We recorded it around 2 p.m. You told me you hadn't seen a strategy, but at that point Raila hadn't turned up.
Yes.
Do you see a strategy? Because the question is, if he were to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think for most people they say his voice could have been heard, and now he's postponing every single Monday. Is he applying brakes?
Raila is a strategist. One, when you push it to Monday, you expect the pressure to pile on the president from different quarters. Well, I've told you people are suffering. Wazungu are very easy to scare, you know that. Eh?
Yeah.
They are scared. You do this the next Monday, they run away. So there's pressure going. You are giving the president time for him to make a move because of the pressure he will get. Number 1. Number 2, if he did today, by today he'll be forced to go to State House. If he didn't tactfully withdraw his troops yesterday, people will be marching to State House today. That's not his intention. He's not a fool.
His intention is to apply pressure to the president.
You apply pressure until the pressure reaches to a point where the president gives in. And if the pressure is exerted, if the president doesn't give a valve to ease the pressure, then the pressure cooker will boil him. Then your work will just be to have dinner. You see how the strategy is working? If Ruto is not seeing this, then they better employ me.
So for you say...
They would have messed him yesterday if they would have allowed him to come to
State House.
To CBD. Now that they have heard this, they will try to do that. The strategy from Raila will now change. Raila is a political genius, a master strategist. And these people are not Raila's match. And I must remind them, they don't know Raila. I hope by yesterday they have now begun to accept and to agree that they don't know Raila. They thought they knew Raila. This is a political genius, a master strategist, a man as unpredictable as anything.
When you look at...
He's an enigma, they say, wrapped inside a riddle. You cannot understand Raila very easily.
But now you look at those
One moment it looks like he's finished.
I think I was with you yesterday and I read a tweet from someone saying if he had those crowds, he would have become president. If he had half of that crowd, how long can this situation last? Because the president says, I am not Uhuru, I am not Kibaki, I am not Moi. We will deal with Raila permanently. How long will this situation last? Because now he's the president. Of course, Raila has close to 50% of the country of his supporters. How long can this situation last of every Monday maandamano?
I said long time ago, from the time this thing started, this country will be as peaceful as Raila wants, as his strategy applies. You don't know his strategy on Monday. And that is how difficult this situation is. And the option for the president is to talk to Raila. Not in a handshake. Talk to Raila and everything is gone. Kwisha, you just continue being president. Take the risk. Because I watched something I may not want to discuss on TV. I'll tell you behind the tents. And it's about the security and its formation. And I got a little worried. So if I were to use that to answer your question, how long it will last, I hope the intelligence know what I'm talking about. It can't last.
I hope our viewers can read.
If you are intelligent, you know what I mean.
You
And
know
what I can't say on air,
there are
but
things
behind
we
the
can't
tent,
say.
if you meet me in town, I'll tell you. So it can't last. Not that I'm not saying the security can do anything bad.
You're saying
I'm looking at their strategy. It was the same old strategy.
Okay.
Against a different client. It's like a doctor who has just woken up from his grave in the 1960s. And here there's a patient, they must get an injection. And he goes back to his cupboard and he retrieves the old needles and the thick syringes. And then he lights a stove, you know, a pressure stove, chuk, 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 and a clear magic. Then he throws the needles inside. They should boil. He doesn't know people are moved away from that. People are now using disposable syringes, disposable needles. That's what I saw with the police. Let me not go into the details because it's not good to discuss the strategy of security forces. So, but it's enough to say these two are operating from different planes.
So you say it's a different patient, you say it's a different Raila, and they say it is the same old
not
Raila?
Just, one, a different Raila. Two, the people have changed.
Okay.
You know, one of the reasons why people succeeded in dictatorship was flow of information. Government had the information, the monopoly over information. Today, hey, my friend, people have more information than government. Information is moving so fast. The government is behind the flow of the information, leave alone controlling it. So for the people are more bold. Now you are making me disclose what I wanted to do. The people are more bold. You saw yesterday. Were people not going in that? People are calling it water. That's not water, unless they have changed. If they splash it on you and I, we will go to hospital. And those guys were washing themselves with that thing.
Standing in front of those lorries, trucks.
That's not a situation you want to be in. You saw when Raila was coming from the airport in 2017. That iconic picture of that man
standing in front of those trucks.
That's not a situation you want to be in as a country. Kenya is
too good to go down.
Let's not travel that path. Let us be called cowards. I want the president to agree to be called a coward. But when history is finally written, they'll say William Samoei Ruto was a great president. He saved his country from collapse. That is better than being cheered on by a few fellows around you who are really benefiting when you are a president. They cease to benefit if you cease to be president. So anything that would indicate your power is being weakened, not even leaving State House, that your power is just being weakened. And they are basking in that power. They will not allow you to do it. Let them disappoint them. Let some people say you are a coward. Let some people say you have succumbed to Raila. But buy peace for your people.
I think that is a good message to wrap up this conversation. Of course, we'll be keeping tabs with everything that is happening in the country. Till we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.